All right, welcome in Cancers to your December reading. This is going to be for basically a monthly forecast, and we'll kind of take a look and get some information and guidance for you guys. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Just as a reminder, or if you're new, this is a general reading. So it really is tapping into the collective. So, it may resonate for you. It may hit the nail on the head. It may, just maybe you'll get something from it. So I would still watch to the end. But sometimes, right, not every single month is going to be exact for you. But that's why you should also take a look at your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign. So all of those, depending on what you are, and definitely there will be one of those that will hit for you. So just wanted to remind that. And also, if you would like a personal reading with me, you can definitely schedule one on my website, which is linked below in the description. What else we got? And with the holidays coming up, I just wanted to remind everyone of my Etsy shop. So go take a look out there at it. I do make metaphysical tools through jewelry. So I use stones and crystals and make things for you guys to use. I mean, really, they look great, but they also are mainly for energy tools to use to support you in whatever, in any way you need. So depending on the stone, right, you really want to look at the metaphysical properties and the energy of each stone so you can really find one that resonates with you. So whether you're looking to, bring in more money or wealth or abundance, love, maybe you're just working on your healing, right? Emotional healing. So there's stones for that. There's stones for, protection or repelling negativity. Definitely you should always have something like that in your home, especially by your bed, but also on you. Like you want to wear it so that as you go around your day, that energy of that stone is helping to protect you, especially from negative energy right now, which is kind of all over the place. There's stones for like helping us to integrate like past lives or childhood traumas. There's a lot. So take a look. I love stones. I obviously have them everywhere to help and support me in just every day or whatever I'm dealing with. All right. Let's see what's going on for you, Cancers. So first we're going to look at your past energies here, your past influence. So we have expansion, planet Jupiter, and the narrow pathway. Tread thoughtfully. So just like this card shows, I definitely feel like you've been on this like really treacherous, like this like janky bridge. That's kind of the metaphor of what your life has been in the past. And you've kind of had to tread thoughtfully, like, every move I make, I have to be careful. I'm in a situation where, this could go bad, but I'm trying to navigate this as well as I can. So you could have been through some challenging pathway recently, but definitely there is something, you had to go through this, right? And we all hate to hear it, but there was some reason that I feel like you're starting to come out on the other end of it, or even you're finally at the end. Maybe you don't think you are yet, but from a energetic frequency, I feel like this is referring to the past. So you definitely made it through this better than you were, with some great lessons, some great wisdom. And I think that now your life, because of this, it's almost like you decided to take the path less traveled. And all of a sudden you realize like, oh crap, this path is maybe, not safe. And maybe you've had to navigate some pretty treacherous terrain. But what's interesting is in those moments, I feel like you kind of felt like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this or made this decision. But I'm letting you know it was the right decision. And I think If you haven't yet, in December, you're going to realize all of a sudden, it's like things expand in a way that you couldn't imagine. And Jupiter is also the planet of luck, of good luck, and you know, that positive energy. So I feel like that's really going to start coming in for you. Let's get some tarot. Four of Cups, Six of Swords, and the Three of Wands. Yeah, I was kind of feeling this with the Four of Cups. This almost like regret of like, oh crap, maybe I shouldn't have done this. You know, maybe I jumped into the deep end too fast. Maybe I should have thought of this. Like there's this kind of like energy of like, oh God, what did I do? Disappointment, regrets, maybe a little bit. Maybe even at certain points in the past, like during this year, you kind of were like, there was this pause of, what am I doing? Right? And what am I going to do, you know, moving forward? And maybe there were some things you lost. And you really were kind of, you know, feeling a lot of, you know, poor me. Like the Four of Cups is usually like someone really focusing on these three cups that basically are empty. So it's like focusing on the things you don't have or what you lost. But this is the card of expansion as well. Like all of a sudden, like the world is expanding for you in so many ways. And it's like now you're seeing like you have the world in your hands and you can have what you see in front of you. And I think, you know, even last year, that would have never been a possibility, or even in knowing, like you would have never even known that was an option for you, but you're starting to see new potentials and you have the choice. You know, do you want to get off and this is too about leaving your comfort zone. And I feel like you already have left the comfort zone. And through this now, you definitely were moving forward. And maybe you just didn't see it through different points on this path. But you have been moving forward. And I feel like now towards the end of the year, things have gotten a little easier for you. So let's see where you currently are now. Activation and reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. It's like you finally finished this treacherous bridge here. And sometimes you didn't think you were going to make it. Sometimes you thought, oh God, this is going to just fall through. This wasn't safe. But now I feel like you're finally over this. Like you finally reached the end. And now it's just like smooth path ahead. And I feel like now you're really seeing it and you're really grateful for what you went through. And now you're seeing, okay, that I made the right decision here. And also there's a lot of like, you've gained a lot of spiritual, new conscious wisdom and awareness, and you learned so much. And this has really activated you. And now like this card is about the humans discovering fire. So it's like you're now like evolving, and there's all these innovative things that you're now able to use that you've learned along this path. So this is feeling great. But this is like the end of the year now. Like I do feel like this year might have been difficult for you. You've been through some challenges. But now I feel like things are gonna, or have, at least in December, are gonna start feeling a lot easier. Nine of Swords, strength, yeah. I mean, this has taken you a lot to get through this year, I feel. Ace of Pentacles. So you're finally reaching kind of you're reaching the door of opportunity that you've been trying to get to. And, you know, the Nine of Swords is kind of like the living nightmare energy of kind of like a Groundhog Day, overthinking, like, what did I do? What am I doing here? And, you know, when are things like, when's something going to change? And it did take you a lot of courage and strength here. I definitely feel like you've overcome a lot. especially mentally and like just internally. I think you've struggled. But now you have the Ace of Pentacles here, which I love. So let's look at the future state or what's coming in. So we have chaos and answering the call. The time is now. So also in this card, the Ace of Pentacles references like a new door opening. And the door is taking you somewhere obviously better than where you were. This card is also showing this door within a gate that's opening up. So I have this essence of like you're freeing yourself from something. This also goes back to, we've had Uranus in Taurus for the last 7 years. Uranus did pop into Gemini for a little bit this summer and then through kind of the fall, but now it's back in Taurus. It's been retrograde, but Uranus is going to finally move into Gemini for good in April of 2026. So Uranus in Taurus, there's a lot of dissonance there because Uranus wants to change things, wants to free things, but Taurus energy is about, Taurus likes its comfort zone. Taurus likes to feel stable and secure, where Uranus is the least probably stable and secure planet. So you have that conflict of Uranus like, I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to free you from this, this isn't working, this has to change, this has to end, this has to get blown up, right? Look at chaos. The volcano erupting is Uranus. But then Taurus is like, wait a minute, no, I'm going to hold on to the death with a death grip to something, but Uranus is like, but that's what's creating your suffering, and that's what's creating, that's what's holding you back. And finally, and that's what's keeping you enslaved, right? And now this metaphor for you, Cancer, is you've been in this like gated, walled off like garden. And at first it seemed great and beautiful, but then after a while you're like, wait, I'm stuck here. Like I'm a slave to this. And I want to expand and I want to, free myself and I want to experience new things. And the time is now. So I do feel like in December and moving forward into 2026, you are finally answering the call. Like you're being called to leave your comfort zone, to leave something that you've kind of held on to for a while, but you're seeing the potential now of what's beyond this. And that's this new landscape ahead that like, you're like, whoa, that looks amazing. And I feel like the time is now to also, because I think if you stay, there's going to be a lot more chaos if you stay than if you leave. And I think also there is going to start to bubble up this chaos and you're already on your way out and you're realizing that. From a collective standpoint, it's not about, scaring people or intimidating people, but part of why I do what I do is to help people to find more awareness, to find, security and stability within their own frequency. Because we do live in a world of chaos. It's been chaos and conflict for some years. And the next couple years, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I don't want people to be scared or like sit in like doom thinking, but it's just more to be prepared. And the more we go internal and work on our frequency, the more it's going to be easier for us. Right? Where other people are going to be dealing with the harder chaos, they're going to see more impact. Those of us that have been focusing on our own frequency and expanding ourselves, but what we're also doing is we're helping to try and balance out the chaos. So the timeline that ends up unfolding actually isn't as bad as maybe it could have been on a different timeline if we wouldn't had so many of us shifting the frequency. So that was kind of a lot for that, but I feel like that was important for you to know, Cancers. So let's see here. Let's get some tarot around that. 7 of Cups, Knight of Cups, the Empress. These two cards have been coming out together a lot, and I feel like it's about following your heart. And there could be someone that really comes into your life that is like, oh my God, they are the unicorn, right? And you're like, you're going towards them. This could also be someone going towards you. Someone sees you as, because look at this Empress has her eyes shut and she's really just feeling into herself, focus on herself in the now moment. And all of a sudden, here comes in, you know, Prince Charming or the knight in shining armor. So, and there's like so many choices I feel for Cancers in December and moving forward. You have a lot of choices and options here. And I think most of them are going to be pretty amazing. Like I think as long as you choose to leave, this has been coming up a lot. I'm just realizing this. There's really a trend in December with all this, with a lot of the signs about getting out of your comfort zone. And it's almost like that Seinfeld episode when George says, he's like, I'm going to do everything the opposite of what I would normally do. Like if I was going to make this decision normally, I'm going to make the total opposite decision. Or if this is how I would respond or what I would normally do, I'm going to do the opposite. Cancers, I feel like that's how you should approach life in December. And that's where it's going to, I feel like it's going to lead you to some great things and lead you down the right path. Because Cancers too, like Cancers, I almost feel Cancers and Taurus are similar where you guys, Cancers is the sign of like the family unit, of like nurturing energy, of liking home. You like to feel at home and you like that concept of my sanctuary and my connections and my network. And so Cancers too can be a little, when it's like a full uprooting and changing of all that, can definitely be difficult for you guys. And you guys definitely are led by your hearts because you are water signs. But if you tend to get too much in your head, Cancer, that's what leads you astray, I feel. And Cancers tend to really care about what other people feel and what other people think. And I think that's what tends to pull you into making decisions that really aren't always for your highest best. But now this is shifting and changing. And you're really birthing some sort of new reality for yourself here. So let's see what's good. Let's just focus on more good stuff here. What's in the good stuff? So playfulness and stepping into your power. You are strong beyond measure. So at the heart of your reading here, you have, well, right now, but strength is right here in the middle. And it's talking about strength and stepping into your power. You definitely have a lot more power than you've realized. And I think you're starting to see that. In this card, the lantern and that light kind of represents your intuition, like your North Star, like your higher self is lighting the path for you if you follow that. If you follow your intuition and follow the crumbs, the synchronicities here, and have the courage to notice those things and to actually take action on those, you are going to be led correctly and you're going to follow the safest path here. And playfulness. So this is another guidance to follow your bliss. Play, have fun, do things that inspire like this freedom and inspire fun and adventure, and do stuff that maybe you normally wouldn't do, right? And maybe they are all things that you in your heart are like, oh, I want to experience that, or I wish I could do that. Well, do it. It's time for you to do it and not let anyone stop you. And that's another big thing. I think You know, a lot of people have led a life that's really been controlled by external factors, especially our family, our friends, our partners, our spouses. Um, there's a lot of here, I'm hearing like chattering in the ear of this is what you need to do and this is what I expect of you. And, you know, oh, you can't do that because, you know, that's not how we should be living. And I think it's time for you to decide what life looks like for you that aligns with you and your happiness and your alignment. But also, right, we need to balance that with our ego. So we need to do it from a healed place. And but I think again, you've expanded a lot from a spiritual standpoint. So I think you're fine being led more and more correctly than maybe in the past you made some decisions because you were led by your trauma or the suffering in your life. All right, let's see here. Five of Swords, King of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords. So this Five of Swords has been showing up a lot in the good stuff. And from a positive standpoint, the Five of Swords to me is about you are coming out ahead of something. Like you are winning big in a situation, and it's not in the detriment of others, because usually the Five of Swords is somebody who's taking from others and others are losing. But in the positive, it's like you're making out ahead. You're getting out of a situation. And it's like, but in the end, I think everyone's winning in the situation. So I think that's the positive, is like, you've really strategized and approached a situation from a place of honesty and truth, and like surrendering to the outcome. You haven't like tried to control how this looks, but you've surrendered that, hey, I'm going to just speak my truth. I'm going to stand my ground, but I'm also going to ask for what I want. And I think you end up getting it. And this is where the King of Pentacles, it's like you made out in the physical world, like in the net, right? You in some sort of equity here. I feel like, you know, the King of Pentacles is really, has great abundance and wealth and stability and just like physical things. So again, maybe you're coming out of a situation with, on a plus side here. The Two of Swords, it's like you're finally, I think you're finally, because the Two of Swords is about really going within and taking a pause and not, it's kind of like an inaction card, but I feel like in the positive, it's like you're finally really, you've done the internal review and you're cutting the blindfold off now, and you're finally like getting on the path that you're meant to be on and making some steps forward. And there's some movement here, which I like. Because no one likes to be sitting on the fence and like confused and, you know, dangling their feet. Like, I don't know, like, but you know, when we're doing that, nothing changes, nothing grows. And it actually is like stagnancy. And usually it's because we're afraid, right? There's some sort of fear or confusion that's keeping us in a situation. So let's see, what's the Four of Cups? The Sun. Yeah, I feel like there's some just overall regrets about looking back at your past or decisions you made. And it's like, I feel like you forwent your happiness way too much in the past. And I feel like there is like this loss of, you know, look at where I'm at in my life, and I kind of wasted all these years, and I didn't do things that made me happy, and I didn't follow my bliss, and I, you know, didn't follow my Northern Star, and I listened to everyone else, and I made decisions because I didn't want to hurt people or whatever it was. And you like are now kind of in this poor me energy of like, oh God, you know, and that's, but I feel like that's going to motivate you to make different decisions moving forward. What's the Nine of Swords strength? Seven of Wands. I think you also have trouble standing up for yourself and setting boundaries and like standing up for what you believe and like what you want. And this is creating a lot of internal conflict because I do feel like you have some trauma or some belief systems where you're afraid to speak your truth or say what you want because of what will be the consequences or the pushback. I also feel like there's potentially more than one person or people in your life that are all like, it's always about them and we want this and you need to do this. And it's time for you to, again, stand up, set your boundaries. This is kind of has some similarity feels to the Pisces reading I just read. So if you have any Pisces in your chart or dealing with a Pisces, you may want to check the Pisces reading. And that's where the courage comes in here. But let's see, Ace of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. So I feel like there's an opportunity to get out of a situation that has kind of been, how I feel like it is like dead. Like the Five of Pentacles, even in this card, it's like the winter. It's the card of feeling out in the cold and like a lack of passion, a lack of emotional fulfillment. There's some situation that you definitely don't have fulfillment in anymore. And there's an opportunity to get out of this. Also, for some of you who have been dealing with also financial difficulties or just like feel like you've been through a long period of just like financial, like finances have been, there hasn't been a lot coming in. I think that's also going to change. What's this? Knight of Cups, Empress, Two of Pentacles, Three of Cups. So I think you have some choices to make in regards to maybe a relationship situation here, but you could also be, for those of you looking for love or are single, potentially there is someone that you come across through some sort of, like through friends or family or like some sort of social engagements, going out with friends, something like that. But I feel like in this deck, she's really focused on this one pentacle here. Like she's really where the other one. So it's like there's two options here, but like you really know the right option for you. So I don't feel like you're going to know this right away when you come across this person. Five of Swords, King of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, Page of Pentacles. So you're definitely ending some sort of challenging period. And you're coming out ahead. You're definitely coming out ahead. And you're definitely coming out of this with something of value. Whether it's something physical, like maybe you're coming out of this like better in regards to your money situation. This can also just be value in the sense of like the lessons you've learned, because the Page of Pentacles can be about lessons or the learnings. But you're seeing the value in what you went through. And again, now where you're at now, you're like, whoa, like I wouldn't be here where I am or have the awareness or the understanding if I took a different path. Two of Swords, High Priestess. Yeah, Judgment. Whoa, this is big stuff. The universe is really like, you know, the universe, the angels are like calling you and you can't like not see this or hear this. And I feel like that's kind of like ripping the blindfold off. Is there something you are, the High Priestess, like you just know now, right? This is like your soul is like, you got to hear this, you got to see this, and you got to like go in this direction. Because Judgment is about like a crossroads and like there's like a new life for you to live and you're finally awakening to it. And it's like you're coming out of a life that really was kind of dead. Like there was nothing there for you anymore. So this is kind of a big shift for you, Cancers. But I'm loving the energy. So this is really exciting. I'm excited for you to finally, especially when you're coming out of a very challenging period, that could have been even years, and things are gonna feel a lot better for you. All right, we made it before the sun went down. So I just wanted to put a plug in to watch out for the 2026 yearly forecast for each zodiac sign. I haven't done it before, but that's something new for this year. So we'll look at the themes for next year. I'm also going to dive into the Neptune-Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees Aries, which is happening. I can't remember. Let's see. Neptune, Saturn at February. So we only have a couple months till then, but that is going to be huge. And these two planets only come together or meet every 36 years. So this is going to be huge, and I'm going to pull cards in your forecast to let you know how that's specifically going to impact you. And then don't forget to check out the extended, which I'm going to be adding in for that, which I will dive into specifically your love and romance for next year and your work and career. All right, Cancers, thanks for joining in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and give me some comments below before you go. And happy holidays if you celebrate, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye for now.